while being shrouded in mist for the majority of the time. Many mountain peaks are shrouded in mystery too, and perhaps the greatest mystery of all surrounds the greatest mountain of all, Mount Everest. Mountaineers George Mallory and Andrew Sandy Irving led a British expedition in 1924 to summit Everest, but sadly their bodies were discovered some 75 years later just below the summit, and the burning question has always been, were those climbers on the way up or on the way down? Did Mallory fulfill his lifelong dream of conquering Everest, or did he fail? The bodies were discovered remarkably well preserved in the sub-zero temperatures. There were items of clothing, and there was still flesh and hair on parts of the exposed bone. So I love a mystery myself, and I find that absolutely phenomenal. For me, I'd like to believe that Mallory fulfilled his burning desire, summited the mountain and perished on his way home. But I have a little something to read from Mallory himself, but I think we need to get up onto this peak to share it with you. Okay, well, we're the majority of the way up, and there's this little gorge here, so let's scramble the last few meters. The lichen is pretty damp, so we have to watch our handholds. There's a carob tree growing near the summit, and this little gorge which we may have to take another leap of faith across. So let's have a little jump here. Wow. So it's a little narrow here, and let's take that leap across. Well, here we are on this glorious windswept peak, and I promised you a quote from George Mallory himself, when famously asked before the expedition why. This was his reply: "People ask me, what is the use of climbing Mount Everest? And my answer must be at once, it is of no use. There is not the slightest prospect of any gain whatsoever. Oh, we may learn a little about the behaviour of the human body at high altitudes. Possibly medical men may turn our observation to some account for the purpose of aviation, but otherwise nothing will come of it. We shall not bring back a single bit of gold or silver, not a gem, nor any coal or iron. If you cannot understand that there is something in man which responds to the challenge of this mountain and goes out to meet it, that the struggle is the struggle of life itself, upward and forever upward, then you won't see why we go. What we get from this adventure is just sheer joy, and joy is, after all, the end of life. We do not live to eat and make money, we eat and make money to be able to live. That is what life means and what life is for." Now I think that speaks volumes, and I say, I hope in my heart of hearts, as a lover of mountains, that George Mallory and Andy Sandy Irving reached the peak of Mount Everest.